Okay, so wait and see how far behind YouTube is from actual filming. Hi Kim, can you hear me okay? Sound is good. Perfect. Are you sewing along with us today, Kim? Oh, I got a new fancy pen. Look it. It's got all the colors. I'm going to sit on my low chair here, so I'm going to look like I'm sinking down into the ground. Excuse my mess. Working on the Bag of the Month Club tutorial. That's okay. I didn't realize that was only second class of Blanche Barrel bag. We have so much time to get things done. So what we'll do is if you have any questions, just stop me and ask no matter where you're at with yours, okay? I'm tired. I feel like I've been awake since 3:30 this morning. Probably because I have. Oh my goodness. I wish I could see how many people were on, but I cannot. It does not show me. Not quite time to be on yet, so hopefully more pop in. Otherwise, it's going to be the Kim and Brandy show, which is good too. Where's my mouse? There it is. More will come. And I'm ready for bed. I started work at like 5. And then I took the son to the dentist at 9, and then we went for a late breakfast, and then I started working again about 11:30. Took the last half hour off or so, though, to kind of chillax. Almost fell asleep on the couch. Snuggled with the puppies. You're not alone, trust me. I'm disorganized a lot of the time too. Oh, Dexter. You hear him? He's not happy that I'm in here. He's scared of my sewing room still. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Are you sewing along with us today, Dawn? Dexter says hi. Actually, I think he's barking at the cat. Hi, Susan. How are you? Are you sewing along with us today? He sounds adorable. He is huge. He's, we had him at the vet 2 weeks ago and he was like 35 pounds, I think. And he's growing like a weed. He's almost as tall as Coco. And he'll be 4 months old on the 16th. He's going to be a big boy. Not sewing tonight, Susan? Okay. If you do so during the week, Susan, know you can reach out to me if you need any help at all. Email or on Facebook. Right, Kim? He's huge. So yeah, I'm going from my little old man Benny, who passed away. He was a Dachshund pug cross, so he was my lap dog. He wasn't very big at all. The vet thinks that Dexter's going to be probably a good 100 pounds. And you're very welcome, Susan, anytime. For some reason, I thought we were on class 3, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so much to get done in 2 classes. But now that I see we're only class 2, I'm like, yay. Hi, Linda. How are you? Will you be sewing? Actually, I think you are sewing along with us today because we were chatting earlier. We'll give it another 5 minutes or so to see who else pops in. There's only 5 of us here so far. You 4 and myself. And we have 17 in this class, so hopefully more will pop in. I know many work and they just catch the replays and then they end up emailing me when they need a hand, which is perfectly fine as well. Your 67-pound dog thinks he's a lap dog. Coco's about 70 pounds and she thinks she's a lap dog. Sounds good, Linda. If you need me to stop at any point because you have a question, feel free to ask. No questions about homework and the cutting? Were we all good? Today we're going to be doing a lot of prep to get ready to put it all together next week. Maybe we'll be done next week. We'll see how things go today. So, hi, Irene. I need you to email me. You are our VIP of the month for January. You won. But I can't find your email address. So think of where you want your $25 gift card to and shoot me an email and or a message on Facebook, and then I will get that to you. Irene, are you sewing along with us today? You're very welcome. Congratulations. Maybe we'll give it 5 more minutes because people are just popping on now. Oh my goodness. I was just telling Kim, I woke up at 3:30 this morning. Being Valentine's Day and everything, I woke up. I couldn't sleep anymore. I went to bed way too early last night, but I wanted to make my husband a Valentine's Day breakfast and all that. He gets up at 3:30. He's got to leave the house by 5. So he's got an hour and a half drive to work. But yeah, now I'm feeling tired. I should have taken a nap. Oh, you got to cut it out? Are you going to make this one though, Irene? Look how messy my floor and my area is behind me. You know I've been working hard when. You'd like Galaxy Custom? Okay, Irene, can you email me so I can email it to you? My email's down in the description. I know you've emailed me before, so it might be, yeah. For some reason, I couldn't find your email address. Perfect. Or if Anna pops in, maybe I'll be able to get her to send it directly to you and then I can pay her. Yep. Irene, are you going to put it towards the pre-order of the new vinyl she has? Oh my gosh. Super exciting. I don't know if you saw the live where Anna and I were live last week. I'm excited to get the new vinyls. They're going to be beautiful. Hopefully Anna pops on. I know she's been a busy filling all of those orders from that launch. And then getting ready for the pre-order. And again, she might be celebrating Valentine's Day with her husband today. I guess that would be allowed. Anybody else hiding there? Speak up, say hi so I can mark you down. So we are one subscriber away from 10,200. So close. Very exciting. So that draw will be at the end of the month. Whew. Welcome to all of our new members. We did have a couple sign up this week, so I haven't seen you pop on, but welcome when you do watch this. We'll get started in 2 minutes. Like I said, this class we're going to do a lot of prep work for next class. We're going to get all of our panels done. So next week we have everything all set and ready to go for putting it all together. Time does fly, doesn't it, Dawn? I said I'm ready for a nap because I got up way too early. I shouldn't go to bed at 8 o'clock. Usually I read my book, but I fell asleep reading my book, so I must have needed the sleep. Who else did we have sewing with us last week? Annie was sewing with us last week. I know Anna was cutting things out. Did anybody have any issues with homework? Did everybody get their homework done? A lot of edge painting for me, that's for sure. You know how I love my edge painting. Oh, now I gotta stand up. I was sitting on my feet and now they're asleep. Alrighty. I'll set this aside. Start getting organized. Are we all ready to go? Oops, that's not the right piece. This one is what we want. Okay. Let me switch the camera. How's it look? Does it look like everything looks right? Let me double check my lighting here. It seems darker in here today. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. You did not get it done? That's okay. Work on it now, Kim. It'll keep you company. Okay. I don't know why it looks so dark in here. Does it look dark on screen or is it just my eyes? Okay, so we are going to start with purse feet. Purse feet are not in the pattern. I'm just adding them in, so you can do it optionally if you want to. It's up to you. I have the measurements. Did I mark them down though for the purse feet? Let me double check. No, I didn't for the large. I just kind of wing my purse feet, but I did not mark down what my measurements were for that. So measurements, I know I said in the tutorial for the large, but we can kind of wing it. So I'm making the small. I think I'm still going to do 6 purse feet for the small. I think it's a big enough base, and my package comes with 6, so why not? So you can do 4. I think the base is big enough though that at least having a 5th one in the middle, so either 5 or do 6. Oh no, Kim, having a hard time changing to your zipper foot. Is it because it hasn't come off very much? You're on an industrial, right? So you kind of gotta, it's kind of tight at first. Try a little bit of oil on the screws. Sometimes that helps. Just let me get organized here. Okay. Are we ready? So I'm doing the small. So from, let me think. Where do I want them to be? I'm just swinging it, trying to figure out where I want these to be. Where did I put my pen? There it is. So for the small, for the large, I believe I did 2 inches in from this side and 1.5 inches up for the purse feet. For the small, I think we can go 1.5 and 1.5 from the long edge and from the side edge for the small. I think that will be good. So 1.5, 1.5. Or you can place them wherever you like. It's completely up to you. Just making sure you know where your seam allowance is, but I think that's going to work. Oh no, Kim. And then from the center line, I'm going to go up 1.5. Yeah. Same from this center line, 1.5. So we'll mark those first, and then we'll go ahead and install those. Actually, before I install them, let's also go ahead and mark our centers. We want to mark our centers along the long sides and the short sides. Oh my gosh, I cleaned up and I don't know where I put anything. So I'm just going to fold it in half longwise and do a snip. Same with the other side. And the short sides as well. We want to find that center for when we attach the side panels. These side ones are super important because we don't want our sides to go on crooked. So I'm just going to measure to make sure they are definitely center. 2.5, 2.5. I'm good on that side. 2.5, I'm good. Okay. And then go ahead and install your purse feet. Ooh, I got a new blade on this. It's sharp. Woohoo. Does anybody ever use those rivet purse feet? I think you need a different die for them, but I'm curious. Go through. Where are you? There you are. And I did switch out to my green lining, and it's a perfect match. I'm so happy that I recut those pieces. Get in there. There we go. And my washers. Oh, how do you like them, Linda? Are they nice, or like do they set nicely? So many products to try, so little time. Okay. And then I like to, as you know, also take some Gorilla Tape or duct tape and put them over the prongs. Trying to keep this nice and not so messy for you guys. I have Gold Star presses, so I really don't have many dies. I just have the hole punch, which I hardly use, and the rivet press. That was expensive to get to Canada, I tell you. But now, if you're in Canada, you can actually get the cam snap press and the rivet dies from Emmeline Beggs, which is amazing. Okay, everybody let me know when you're all done with your purse feet, and then we will move on. While I'm waiting, I'm going to get all of my interfacing all cut and out of the way. Actually, I need to try my iron. My stuff looks like it just needs a little bit of a press, so we'll get my iron heating up. Move my phone. You love them? Nice. And no, I didn't trim up my interfacing like I never do. I'm terrible. Dawn's done. This batik frays like no tomorrow. Holy moly. I'm going to just give these a quick press because they're all loopy. If it's warm enough yet. Might not be. No, I gotta let it warm up a little bit more. You did them prior to class? Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we are going to attach to foam. We're going to do it a little different than normal. We're going to attach our bottom, our mains, and where are they? Our side exteriors to foam. But you're going to base these on with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance because we are going to trim some of that foam out of the way. This is a method I call the Anna method because Anna taught it to me, because I do use her Pretty in Pink Sew Foam, and it just really helps to reduce that bulk. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that, where are my clips? There they are. So yes, all of our exterior panels we want to do. So go ahead and do that, and then baste them with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance together. So I'm going to attach them all to the foam first, and then I'll take them all to the machine at the same time. So now when I say the Anna method, everybody will understand what I mean, right? After today. Okay, just put that over there. And I'm going to do my side pieces. Setting your foam doesn't have to be really accurate because we are going to be trimming it. So if it's a little bit bigger than your piece, that's fine. But we will be basting from 1/4 inch from the exterior piece. Oh, did you, Kim? Get ready. I call it pink crack. Isn't that terrible? Pink foam crack. Said I used to sell Pellon Flex foam, and after I tried this foam, I stopped because I like it so much better. I love it. It's nice and dense. Gives the bag really good stand-up ability. It's a definite try. I loves me my pink foam. Definitely worth the money. Kim, you ordered some of the new vinyls too, did you not? What did everybody think of that live with Anna last week? It was fun, I thought. Okay, I just got to grab my exterior pieces from the iron. My iron's been acting up. I think she's tired. But I won't need her too much today, so we'll let her rest. Dexter knocked it on the floor, and it hasn't quite worked right since, which is a shame because it's a very, very expensive iron. We'll keep it going just in case. You bought way too much? That's funny. Well, at least you know you're supporting a friend at the same time, right? And who doesn't like pink? I mean, it's just so fun having pink sew foam. What's crazy is this is 1/4 of an inch, and in her upholstery, she uses double that at 1/2 an inch. That's a little much for bags, 1/2 inch, I think. I'm warm all of a sudden. You guys are probably way ahead of me. I'm gonna fit there? No. I'm gonna fit here. Where do I want you to go? I'll go right. There. Absolutely. Wasn't that what I was saying in the video? It was just spend over $195 Canadian. You get the free shipping. Shipping is so killer. Ow. My hands do not want to work today, apparently. Coco says hi. All right, I think that's all of my exterior pieces. All right. Shall we see if I can switch the cameras over nice and smooth like the... Oh, do you know what? Where's my other camera? It's over here. Let me grab it. I forgot I moved it out of the way. So this camera view is going to be a little weird until I get it situated. We will. All right. You're going to see Miss Tiffany there. Not that one. Come back on. Okay, let me get this lighting right. Don't mind me for a moment while I get this up. Okay. Completely forgot we're doing this camera view now, so. How's that look? Does that look good? Ugh, just got to be careful not to knock it with my arm or something here. Okay, so 1/4 inch all the way around. One. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the microphone on this camera working all right? It's good? Perfect. Fart. Dog shouldn't be too bad. Both boys are home today. So pretty quiet. So this class isn't the exciting one, of course, because we're just prepping everything for next class, which will be putting everything together, which is going to be the fun class. Everyone's so quiet today. Must be working hard. Kim, how are you doing getting that zipper foot off? Or putting that zipper foot on? One more. Oh, are you going to do piping on your bag, Kim? You doing the small one or the big one? We haven't made the piping yet. I was going to show you how to do it in class. We'll be doing that today, so you'll be ahead of the game. Are you doing just the pocket piping, or are you going to do the pipings all around the sides like I did on my large? I'm definitely not doing the piping along the sides on this one, with the fabrics I've chosen anyways. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras here. So I'm going to turn off this one, so it's going to go black on one side. And I'm going to go... I wish I could have... Oops, I forgot to turn on the table. That's looking funny. How's my sound, guys? Is it still okay? Oh, you're going to do all around. You will cry a little. I'm sure you can get it, but you will cry a little. I cried a little with the large one. Turned out so pretty, though. Okay, everybody let me know once you're basted on there, and then I'm going to show you the Anna method. Give everybody 2 or 3 minutes, unless you're done pretty quick. Let me know when you're done. Linda is done. We'll just wait for Dawn. That's where I wish I could play music. Can't play music. YouTube will get mad at me. One more minute. Okay, so what we're going to do, now we did a wider base stitch because our seam allowance is like 3/8 or a 1/2 inch depending what part of the bag we're working on. So we want to cut some of this foam out of the seam allowance. So you can see how you can pull it right away. Let me do it on this, it'll show better. See how if you pull this away, you can see how it reveals the bottom base there. So you're going to kind of take your scissors sideways like this. You're not cutting the base, you're just cutting that foam as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Away from that base. And you'll see, I'll show you the difference here. So you're kind of cutting it at a 90-degree angle. It's really hard to show. But if you look, so this is where I've trimmed it away. Look how much thinner it is than here. So that's reducing a lot of bulk, which is really going to help if you're on a domestic machine and also when we go to do the binding. Can you see? That is called the Anna method, and it is just awesome. So go ahead and trim all the way around all of your exterior pieces that way. Making sure you're not cutting that exterior piece. You end up getting into your groove with it. But this is something you definitely want to do when you are going to be binding a bag, trust me, especially when using foam. Even on an industrial. Just because that's the less bulk, we need to get the binding around, which always helps. I don't know what Coco's barking at. See, look how thin. So there's one side done. See how thin that is compared to that side. Isn't that amazing? And Anna taught me this. This is a method she uses in upholstery to reduce the bulk at the seams. See, look at that. Ta-da! Compared to the opposite side, it's like magic. Does that make sense to everybody what I just did there? Main thing is to make sure you're not cutting that exterior fabric, just the foam. Look at that. You could also, if you have a zigzag stitch, you could go around and do that within that 1/4 of an inch or a serger, but I don't have either of those in my machines. I just have a straight stitch machine. And I honestly don't think my domestic, my Elna, would like the thickness of this vinyl. And my serger and I don't like each other. We don't get along. I need to learn how to use it better. She's come unthread. She made me cry. Took me forever to thread her as it was, and then I promised I would never have to unthread her. But then she decided to have a temper tantrum on me. I wish Anna would pop in while we're doing the Anna method. Oh man, she'd be so proud of me. Oops. She is in a timeout. She's a second-hand serger. I like to think that she just doesn't work properly, but I really honestly think it's just user error. Because I really don't know how to use her. I'm a very novice garment sewer. I've made some pajamas and a few dresses with my serger, but that's about it. Okay, look how good that looks. You see how much thinner that is? So this one's done. That one's done. I guess we'll forgive Anna. I mean, it is Valentine's Day, and so this is a little bit tedious, but it is so worth it. And then you don't have to like baste it. You have like with glue or anything. That's the one thing with sew-in foam, is it is sew-in. So this just helps that out a little bit. A little harder when you're using a fabric too, because you don't have the density of the vinyl there, so you know you're not cutting through it. Be very easy to cut through that fabric. You're scared of serger too, Kim? It's a brand new one. Sorry if you're seeing the top of my head there. Sometimes happens with an overhead camera. I don't know that I'm leaning into the camera. You can probably see all my roots and my gray hairs. Time to get it colored. Okay, just the sides left now. So, but this prep work, especially for this bag, as we are modifying it to be bound, you're going to be so thankful that you've done this. Trust me. Don, I got my serger for $50. It's a Singer Pro Finish for $50 off Facebook Marketplace. And I think it works just fine. It has worked just fine. I just, it came unthreaded and I don't have the instruction manual, I think is my problem. I gotta actually find it online, so. Like if I can work in industrial, I gotta be able to work a serger. Okay, so you guys let me know when you're all done trimming up your foam, because I'm almost there. Any questions about this? Has anybody done this technique before? I don't know what it's called. I just, when Anna taught it to me, I just decided to call it the Anna technique because I had never heard of it before. Perfect. And you can kind of see, look how perfect that is. Kim, you haven't even tried your serger yet. Don't you be giving it away. Send me the brand new one and I'll send my old one to Dawn because I'm selfish. Okay. So when you're done that, you can put your side panels and your bottom away for now. Water. Hot flashes. I'm warm. I'll be taking your serger. That's funny. Okay, well, you guys are finishing up there. I have to figure out which is the top and which is the bottom of my main panels. Oh, and I should show you this. I switched to the green. Look how perfectly it matches with that green. Much, much better than the orange. Oh, Coco, they're just kids walking. Okay, so don't mind me for a moment as I'm just trying to figure out which is my top and which is my bottom before we move on. Because I can't remember which way I had it. Any problems with cutting the foam that way? Just ignore what I'm doing. I'm just figuring things out. Okay. Is it there? I don't know which one it is for sure. Can't remember. I didn't mark which was the top and which was my bottom. Okay, I think it's going to be that way. How's everybody making out? Okay, that is the right way. I've got it figured out. Give everybody another 2 or 3 minutes here. Where's everybody at? I will sit while I wait. Don't let me fall asleep because I've been up since 3:30. Linda's ready. How are you doing, Dawn? Another minute or so. It's already almost 5. It's crazy how fast time goes. Oh, okay. Feel better, Dawn? Okay, so we're going to take our exterior main panel and we're going to take our overlay. You can see I edge painted mine. It looks beautiful and shiny. On the back side, you're going to take some double-sided tape. And you just want to make sure you're not putting the tape, especially if you're on a domestic machine, within that 1/8 of an inch seam allowance because it could stick it a little bit. So I'm just putting it where we will not be sewing. And this is just to kind of hold it in place until we top stitch it in place. So we can do both at the same time. Make sure I have them going the right way. Okay. I'm going to leave the tape on for now. Actually, the other panel you will be taking home and doing the other panel for homework, exactly what we'll be doing with this one. So leave the back of the tape paper on the tape so far for now. Make sure you've got your top and your bottom centers marked here. I'm going to mark my bottom center of not the curvy side, not this side here, just this bottom center side, the bottom part. I'm going to fold it in half and make my snip, just so we're making sure that we cut everything well. Then you're going to match that center snip up with this center snip, like so, and clip that bottom in place. And the reason I found the centers is sometimes our cutting may have been off somewhere, and we want to make sure the swoopy part is definitely centered. So doing that, matching up those center will work. Are these new scissors? No, I've had these for a long time. They're my snips. I actually got them for knitting. I have 2 of them. But I've had them, I think, for a year or so. So clip up this bottom. Make sure it's going nice and flat. I'm bubbling here a little bit. Okay. Do a clip just like one, just about 1/3 of the way up. Okay. And then you can take this tape, the back of the tape off. And it should just fall into place where it needs to go, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch this nice and curvy edge, and then we're going to baste the sides. Okay, so I'm going to switch the cameras around. We'll go do that. I'm going to put this aside right now for homework. Okay, so don't mind me while I switch these cameras around. Do it. Ta-da! We're good. Okay, so I am going to just double check my tension because for some reason with this thread, my tension is all over the place. I don't know why. I just want to make sure my top is looking really good. And it does now. Okay. It's made me a liar. Okay, so I like to start along the bottom, mainly because I can also check the tension here before it affects my top stitching. So start basting. I have to go a little further. And I am basting with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Loosen it just a smidgen. A smidgen more. With an industrial, you definitely learn to read your tension. because that is one of the things about an industrial, is it does get thrown out quite often. Okay. You just want that tension to be good before you come up to where we will be top stitching. So I'm just double checking. They were like $15, Dawn. They're really cheap on Amazon. Okay. Now I'm to the edge where I'm going to top stitch all the way along that curve. Take it nice and slow to make sure you're getting that shape really nice. Tension's good. And I love the feeling it gives it when it's compressing there for the foam. Feels really good. Okay, the top stitching looks good, and then we can finish basting the sides. And that is done. I just love this vinyl from Indonesia. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love everything today, I think. All right. And I will flip back over. And I'll check what you're saying there, Dawn. One sec. Oops. Forgot to turn this one on. Dawn's just letting me know that my sound cuts out when I change cameras. Does the sound stay cut out or does it come back? I promise the screen will stop being white. It does come back. How much of a delay? Like, how much should I count, do you think? It's probably because I am turning off the overhead mic, this one here, which that would be the microphone I'm using. And then I turn that off, and then it switches it over to my other one, my one that's looking at the machine. So maybe I'll give it about 10 seconds before I talk. Would that work? I'm gonna have to play back the classes to see what it sounds like. 5 seconds? Okay. All right, Linda, let me know when you're ready to go. And then we will move on. I can still see my silver pen on there. I'm just going to grab a wet wipe quickly. Wet ones are the best for getting off the Tandy leather pen. Okay, not long at all. Good. Phew. That's not too bad then. Worth it for that camera angle? Okay, so I'm just cleaning these off because I can see my marking pen on them still. I actually marked by stitch lines, which helped me a little bit, get it nice and straight. So these are, you can see how nice the edge coat looks on those. Now I'm going to want to dry those off. I'll use my sweater. Don't mind me. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for now, and we are going to prep our, what are these called? Connectors. So make sure you have the right size, the side that's the prettiest facing up. Okay. I'm going to take my marking pen, move this out of the way for now. Try not to have too much distracting stuff in the view. And we are going to measure down 1 1/4 inches on each of them and draw a line. Now, if you use different connectors than what we've done here, you may have to adjust this measurement depending. Yep, for sure. Thank you for letting me know, Dawn. I appreciate it. Then once you have those marked, you're going to flip them over. And along that top short side, we're just going to put a little piece of double-sided tape on each of them. I just started a new roll. Where is my end? There it is. One. And as all the veteran members know, this is my favorite way of doing connectors. I'm a raw edge girl. I know not everybody is, but I am. And this is just such an easy way to do it. Okay, and then also on the back, I'm using a wider double-sided tape. You don't have to use a wider one, but you just want to put some. Oh no, we don't need to do that yet. I skipped a step. Wanda, hi, how are you today? Welcome. Glad you could come. Okay, so let me know when you're there, Linda. Yeah, I'm cutting plastic with my rotary cutter, and I wonder why it's always dull, huh? You're good? Okay. So now I have them right side up again. I'm going to take my rectangular rings, put them down to that line, and they should fit nice and snug in that ring. Take off that tape and fold it right at that line for all 4. And then we just want to compare them to make sure they're all the same height once folded over, and if we have to adjust, we can adjust. You just want to make sure there is at least 1 inch folded over here, at least. Because we're going to want to catch that back in our stitching. So I just kind of line them up. Mine always look a little different because they are handmade, so sometimes your shapes go off a little. It just adds charm to it. So far I'm looking pretty consistent, which is good. Oops, got a little overzealous with that one. There we go. So yeah, just double check they all look pretty uniform to one another. And once they do, when you flip them over, we're just going to take another piece of tape on each of them. Make sure they're staying out of where we're going to be stitching, which is going to be an an 1/8 of an inch away from the stitches we already have there. Especially if your machine does not like double-sided tape. That one doesn't want to stick for me. Why? Good. Stay down. And then just kind of put it right about there. You don't want it to go too high up here either. So probably about a 1/2 inch up where it folds over, like that, on all 4. And make sure those still are the same size. Yeah, they're pretty good. Happy Valentine's Day, Wanda. Oh, car troubles. I hate it when that happens. Oh, is it just for servicing though? That's not too bad then. That kind of makes it so you don't have to worry about it later. We were starting to have lots of troubles with our truck, so we bought a new truck and then gave my dad the old truck. So no, it's his problems. He's a mechanic though, so it should be fine. Okay. And then you want to choose the 2 that you like the most for the front. It's going to be those 2. It's going to be these 2. So these 2, you can put 2 of them you can put aside for now because you will be doing them for homework. And let me know when you're ready, Linda, and we will move on. Oh, I need a massage. My neck is sore. Ready, perfect. Okay, and you're doing the small, correct, Linda? So now what we want to do is we want to place our connectors where they're going to go. So from that center mark we have marked there, we want to measure in, if you're on the small it says 2.5 inches, but I'm actually going to measure 3.5 inches over from that center line because I'm going to use my ruler at that last 1 inch to get my connector nice and straight. So I'm going to measure 3.5 inches in, so I'm matching my 3.5 inch line up with that notch. And 2.25 inch down. So I've got 3.5 and 2.25, and you want to make sure they're fairly well placed. Now, if you find your connectors too big for your print, you can move it around a little bit. So now I'm going to take, which way do I want these to go? This way. The tape off of the back, and right here on our connector we're going to line up with right here, this 1 inch line. So that's going to give us kind of a guide where we're placing this nice and straight. And then when you measure from this side to the center, it should be 2.5 inches, which mine is. Okay. It looks so funny on the small because the small is so small and these connectors are so big, but it is what it is. So again, 3.5 over, 3.5, and 2.25 down. Oops, 3.5 over, 2.25 2, making sure it's nice and straight. And again, using this side, that 1 inch mark right there to line up my connector. Does that make sense? So this is just the way my brain works, so it's going to go there. So mine didn't look like a cut like right center. I actually am thinking I'm going to move mine up just a smidgen. So I'm going to move it up to the 2 inch mark, just because of my print here, and that shouldn't affect anything. So 3.5 over and 2 inches, and then I'm going to move it up, and that's just going to fall. It's not going to cover my print up as much, and when it folds over, it'll be fine. So I'm going to move this one up too. So you can kind of play with it a little bit there. I wouldn't move it by too much, but depending what your print is, like it's just, it's going to look more uniform to me to move it up. Like so. But you should still be 2.5 inches from the center, right here. 2.5 and 2.5. Like so. And you can see my fussy cutting was just a smidgen off, but I think it's still going to look okay. Any questions? Yeah, this one is a little, like, it's just not quite center. It could be how my fabric shrunk up a little bit and slightly off, but I think it's okay. So let me know when you're there, Linda. Like it just needs to be in just a little more. I'm a little bit off. Oh, there we go. This part you want to be pretty accurate. And then just make sure 2 inches. Yep. Alrighty. Okay. So now from this folded down line here, I guess we could have done this before. We're going to measure down. Just want to make sure you that part that we folded under, you want to make sure we're catching that. How did I do my rivets there? Okay. You're going to measure down 1/2 inch from where our folded line is and draw a line across there. And this is going to be a guide for our stitching when we go to cross that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch. I'm going to pull my threads long to the back because I don't want to have my back stitch. And where our basting stitches were when we made the connectors, we're just going to go 1/8 of an inch in. So I'm actually going to have the middle part of my foot sitting right up against that. So we're going to have 2 lines of stitching, and we're going to go up until we hit that line, across, and then down and around. So we're going to have almost like this trapezoid. Is that a trapezoid? Type shape inside there. Let me grab the demo bag to show you what I mean. One sec. Kind of gives you a visual because this one the thread shows up really well. Can you see? So that is what we are attempting to do right now. Okay, so I am, did I need my zipper foot? I'm going to put my zipper foot on just in case, I think. Hi, Anna. Oh, Anna, you missed it. We were doing the Anna method with the foam. Okay, I'm going to switch my cameras around. I will count to 5 when they're there so I don't have any sound cut off, okay? Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? And I'm going to switch into my zipper foot. I don't know if I need to for that 1/2 inch, but just in case. It helps you get nice and close for a straight line right up against your hardware or close to it. Okay. So again, I'm pulling my threads along. And I'm going to start right about here, 1/8 of an inch away from the last stitching. I have this middle presser foot right up against that line, so I'm using it as my guide. I'm not going to backstitch. Feel free to backstitch if you want to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pull my threads to the back. And take your time with this to make sure you get it really good. Let me check. Yeah, we're good. You'll see me do a lot of hand cranking. So I'm very, very picky with my top stitching on connectors. I need them to be perfect. You know what? I had the wrong zipper foot on, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and now I'm going to go across that line. When I pivot, I'm going to put something behind to protect my hardware there and my vinyl. Okay, and when I get to this point, I'm going to go over to this other side and lift it up and pull on that bobbin thread until you get that loop to pull that top thread through. And then as I continue this last stretch, I'm going to make sure that my needle is going to land in that same starting hole. I've only got a couple stitches here, so I'm going to hand crank them and then make sure my needle falls right in that stitching hole. Pull my threads along, make sure you hold on to them so you know which one is the bobbin thread. Flip it over and pull up on that bobbin thread, and it's going to pull that loop. You're going to see this top thread here come through. And then we have a nice and continuous line all the way around. Make sure that this tail in the back was caught. You can kind of feel through it and see it was. And then tie those 4 strands off, and then do the same with the other side. I usually tie 3 knots. And I usually give it, do I have a lighter here? Where'd my lighters go? And then just because I'm using a bonded thread, I like to just burn those thread ends, and what it does is it creates this little ball to make sure that that's not going to come loose. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the other side, and then you will do the same with the other panel to create this for homework. Oh, Anna, Irene, are you still in here? Anna, Irene has won VIP of the month for January, and she's chosen a Galaxy Customs gift card. Yay. I told her to order something from the pre-order. So you'll see my order for a gift card coming through, and it'll be for Irene. that. I forgot to pull that top thread through in the beginning, so I better do that now so I don't get confused. There we go. Pull that through. And tie them off. All right, so that one is done. Okay. Okay, how is sound? Is it good with changing of the camera? All good? Perfect. Done. Perfect. Okay, so for homework, you're going to do the other panel just like this. You can also go ahead and put in a couple rivets. I'll be doing my rivets. I just eyeball it there-ish. Make sure it's even on the other side. As well as I'm going to install my nameplate right in here. I think that's going to be a really nice spot for it. Up here's not so great because your bag kind of will be curving like this once we get it in its barrel shape. So here or even down in here might be a good spot if you want to do that. Thanks, Wanda. Perfect. Okay, so yes, so homework will be to do the other panel, put your rivets in if you're going to do the rivets, and put in your nameplate. Sound good? Okay, next we're going to make our piping. I have to find my piping cord. Who's making piping and who is using pre-made piping? Where did my piping go? That one open already. Don't mind me. I'm just looking for an already opened bag of piping. I don't know where it disappeared to. Bizarre. I keep losing things. This will do fine. You have made your piping already? Okay. Well, let me quickly make my piping then. Because that is the next step we will do. So have a drink, have a cup of coffee. I'm going to quickly make my piping, and then we're going to get the side pockets done. And then that'll be it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm doing vinyl piping. I'm just doing, unlike this bag, I'm just doing this piping here, okay? I'm not doing this piping on the small bag. It was difficult with this vinyl that I chose because it's a really thick vinyl, and this vinyl is the same kind of vinyl in a different color. And on the small one, it would be killer. So this one I'm doing without this piping, but I am doing this decorative piping across here. So I will show you quickly. I'll do one of these pipings. Shall do them both. How I make piping. And I know Anna's going to probably laugh at me because she's probably got a better method of making it, but this is how I do it. Okay, so I have my piping strips here. I have my center line down the middle. I'm going to take some double-sided tape. And I've lost my end again. Oh, Wanda, you're going to use Anna's cording as well? So yeah, that's what this is. And this is, what is this, Anna? Maybe while I'm doing this, you can explain what this piping is, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, I'm going to put double-sided tape down that center line. And I'm going to put double-sided tape just along one of the long edges on both pieces. Okay, Kim, well, watch and see if you did it right. There's really, I'm sure it's fine. Now, one thing with this, I'm actually not going to go nice and close to the piping right off the hop. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so now down that center line, I'm going to take some of my piping cord. I'm going to let it hang over a little bit, which is fine, like that. Stick it down. And then you're going to fold this and bring the raw edges together like so. Okay, Anna says foam cord piping, or in upholstery we call it welt cord. I tell you, I have a whole bunch of spools, like huge spools of cotton piping or cording. And then Anna got me into this, and now this is all I use. I've got to use that other stuff up somehow or sell it. And then what I like to do is just kind of take my finger and run right along the cording. It's not going to go really, really great right off the hop, but it will get there once we do some sewing. Do the same with the other one. This piping is 4 32. 4 32. What you want to make sure is that you have at least a 1/2 inch seam allowance here. It's not going to matter so much for the pocket. Where it's going to matter is more so if you're doing it around the barrel part, around the sides. But yes, this pattern is a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so you do want to have a 1/2 inch seam allowance from the cord to the end, which is why I had to cut the pieces the way we did. Okay. So for this, it's like pretty much 1/8 of an inch. Anna, please don't look at how I stored your piping, your piping cord. I mean, it's a hot mess. Okay, Anna says the way that I'm doing it is a great way to start out doing piping. Since I learned through upholstery, I don't stick it. I would be going through a roll of tape per seat. Yeah. I'm a novice. I have to stick it. But yeah, if you're brave, you don't have to use the sticking. You can definitely wing it. But for the amount I do piping, it's fine. When I get to Galaxy Custom Headquarters, then we will get Anna. I will get Anna to do a piping tutorial for us. I think that would be fun. Okay, so now we're going to take this to the machine. Usually, I would go right up against the piping here. Like have my foot right up against there. But for this pocket, I'm scared that I'm going to be able to see those stitches. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just base this right now with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance down each side. Okay. So I'm just going to put it onto Tiffany view. I won't go over. And just baste it with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, or however you make it. This is just how I make it with a longer stitch. And we'll get nice and close to it when we sew it to the pocket. And don't backstitch at the start and stop. You will see why momentarily. Just because we're going to end up pulling out some of those stitches to adjust our tape once we have this on. I never know what size I have. I just tell Anna to sell me the size I like, and then she sends me this one because it's the size I like. Oops, I didn't want to backstitch there, and I did. That's okay. Okay. Okay, we're just going to keep going through because I know I'm the only one. Well, I guess I'm not the only one doing it now. So now what we want to do is pull out our pocket linings, or side pocket linings and exteriors. I'm going to quickly just trim my stuff up. What do you guys think of this green? It's perfect, hey? I have piping feet coming from Central Sewing. I'm super excited to learn how to do that and take my piping up a level, I think. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take our exterior and we're just going to put this along the top here, and we are going to be trimming this up, I promise you, okay? So I'm actually going to find my top center of this. You can also find your bottom center if you want. We will need that later. And I'm also going to find the center of my piping along that raw edge there. And again, I'm probably taking too many steps. I just like to make sure it's nice and even. So you can see my stitches aren't super close to the piping, and that's okay because when we go to do that 1/2 inch seam allowance, we are going to be there. So match up that center just with a couple clips, and we are going to have to trim this up. So as I said, we have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. We want this cording to be outside of that 1/2 inch, but we still want the vinyl to go all the way across, because this cording, when we go to do the binding, is going to be a pain in the arse to bind around and sew, especially if you're on a domestic machine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this so it follows the bag or the panel like so, and trim it off. Okay, and then from those edges I'm going to measure in 3/4 of an inch. Is that what I want to do? 3/4 or 5/8? No, we're going to go 3/4 to be safe. Okay, and I'm going to make a line. Same with on the other side. Okay, and we have that center mark, so we know it's nice and centered. We're going to take that piping off. And then we're just going to pull out a few of those stitches. I mean, we could have measured this to exactly what it was, but because we're doing multiple sizes of bags, I just decided this is just how I do it. So I'm just going to pull out some of those stitches before that 3/4 of an inch line, and I'm going to pull my vinyl apart just to that line. This is another reason why we didn't go close to the piping, and kind of pull it away from that cording. We want it to be out of that 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to pull this out. And I'm going to measure that 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to cut it off without cutting the vinyl. And then it should be nice and flat right here with no cording, and that should be, well, mine came to 5/8 of an inch. I could have went a little further, but 5/8 of an inch isn't too bad at all. So I'll do a little bit more, just a smidgen more. You'll do that on both sides, and that'll just get that cording out of that seam allowance to reduce the bulk. Another thing you could do here too is you could just do a faux piping where you don't have the cording in there and you just fold this in half, and it would do a similar look as well. It just wouldn't have the sturdiness of the piping. Faux piping can be nice as well if you don't want to do this part. Do the same on the other side. I'm just going to use my table here. Like so. So again, you should be able to feel that your cording is pretty much at that line. Does that make sense? And then we are going to match up that center again on top. All the way across. And you'll see when we go to sew that side seam in, it's completely out of that seam allowance. Okay, I'm just going to do the one pocket with you. The other pocket will be homework. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stitch across there with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. You'll want your zipper foot on, and your zipper foot is going to be going right up against that piping, okay? And we're just basting that right now. So I'll switch us over. Do you guys, okay, I'll switch us to all of you. And I've hit my camera. Oops. Don't mind me, I hit it with my chair and it moved it. Okay. You guys see that okay? So I've got my zipper foot on here, and it's this side of my foot is going to go pretty much right up against that piping. You can use your, I don't have my thing set up here. I know that I have 1/2 inch seam allowance here, so I'm going with it. You can kind of see how my piping is starting to pop, which is awesome. Okay. Take that back to the table. I don't know why that always goes off like that. There we go. Okay. So let me know when you're there, Linda. My station gets so messy. Oh, Dave's home. Coco's gonna say hi. Okay, so this is what that looks like, and you kind of see when you pop this up, look how amazing that piping is gonna look. Now we're gonna take our lining piece, find your top and bottom center. And you're gonna put this right sides together with all this, matching up that top center. Making sure it all lines up. And then I'm going to go through this side here, and I'm going to follow the line of stitching that we just made when we attached the piping, because we know that that is perfection. So I'm going to lay it on the machine like this and follow that 1/2 inch stitch all the way across, and I'm going to put it into a stitch length rather than into a basting length. Okay? Let me switch that around. Clean this up a little bit. Okay. Turn my stitch length down to A4 and follow that line of stitching. With back stitching at the start and stop this time. I went off a little bit there, so I'm just going to go back over. You can kind of see right here. So I'm just going to go back over because I don't want to see those basting stitches popping through. There we go. I just slipped a little bit. Okay. And it does it again. I think I got this camera thing figured out. Okay, so let me know when you're ready, Linda. Was that how you did it, Kim? Did you do it the right way? Whoops. Ready? Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to bring these wrong sides together, pulling it nice and tight. You're going to see how nice your piping looks there. Put a few clips in the bottom there. Match up that center. I've got yellow thread in here from a different project I just accidentally sewed into this. What was I using yellow thread on? Oh, I know. I was making a bumblebee bag. That's what it was. So pull those nice and tight. Clip all the way around. Because now we're going to top stitch this across here and baste around the sides. And this is where we get to see how well I cut my lining. Look how good my fussy cutting was for that. That's a little bit askew, but that's okay. So we're going to top stitch right underneath the piping here so it all holds into place with 1/8 of an inch, and we're going to baste around the raw edges. Kim, in my videos, I usually do stitch closer to the piping. I just didn't for this one. So it's not wrong the way you did it. Okay. Let me just put this into, I'm just going to do it into regular Tiffany view here. She's looking dark. Okay. At this point, you could change into your regular foot, but because I haven't done the other side yet, I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to finish this tomorrow. I'm going to go across the top there with my top stitch. And then baste the sides. You could take these sides with a little bit longer of a base to up to 1/4 of an inch if you like, especially if your panels are a little bit longer, because our seam allowance is a 1/2 inch for this, that 1/4 inch baste will get hidden. So 1/4 inch baste is good, especially if you are a lazy cutter like I am and your lining pieces aren't quite the same size. It'll all get caught in that seam allowance and be fine. All right. Then we're going to do one more thing today and then we are done. So that's what that looks like. This is what I'm talking about, see? Now this might be excess. We will not know until we put it on our side panel to know if it is. So I'm keeping it there in case I cut this too short. But again, everything will get caught in the seam allowance even if it is uneven. So. This has been a good, productive class. And it's only class 2. This is good. So let me know when you're ready, Linda. I don't know if that ready was from before or if you're ready now. So let me know again if you're ready. Yay, Kim. Then you have all week to do this week's homework. Oh, still ready. Okay, perfect. All right, so I can see that my piping is going out a little bit, so I'm just going to cut it to follow the shape of the side panel. And then you can still feel that there's no piping in that seam allowance, which is what we want. I've already got the center bottom marked on this. On our side panel, see, Anna, look, we did the Anna method. Look how beautiful it is. Find your top and bottom centers of your side piece. Where did my little snips go? There they are. And then definitely make sure they do look center. And that's 3 1/8. That's 3 1/8. That's good. Okay. And then you're going to take this pocket. Oh, I lied. We're not doing that yet. Okay, we are going to call that a class because we are still going to have to do our crossbody connectors on here. I was not going to do a crossbody strap, but I am now. So with only 5 minutes left, we're going to leave it at that. Next week, we'll end up doing our crossbody connectors, our zipper panel, and attaching our lining to this. We may even get through the whole bag. You don't know. We don't know. We could. So for homework, do your other side panel like so. Yeah, side connectors. We're going to leave it for now. I almost forgot the side connectors. Whew. That would have been, well, we would have been okay. So yeah, do your other side pocket. We'll do the side connectors next week. No, Kim, because it is a bound bag, we will not be turning it through the pocket, so you can close the pocket up. So yeah, do your other side pocket piece. Do your front panel piece. And was that it? I think that's it for homework. So yeah, just get those done. I can't see this taking a full other 2 classes. We're gonna get through this pretty fast. Yeah, so that is it for now. I should have did the connectors before, and I was not thinking about the connectors, so not too much homework. I hope that works for everybody to get that going. We will finish up the exterior pieces beginning of class, zipper panel, and then getting the main panel done. And then the last class, we will be attaching the sides and then doing the binding. Does that work for everybody? How was that? Was that a good class? Your feedback means a lot. I don't believe how messy my room is as I look in the camera and see it. Oh my gosh, it's a hot mess. Bravo, Linda, you kept up with me. That is amazing. Kim, I'm so happy you got last week's homework done. Yay! Again, anybody that's going to be catching up with this class for last week and for this week, if you need any help whatsoever, you know you can contact me on Facebook. You can go into the event we have set up for this on Facebook. You can email me. You got me. I'm here for you. So, yeah. Are there any questions before we call it? Everything makes sense? I'll give it a moment to catch up, just because I know I'm ahead of you. All right, so my husband's home. We're gonna go have dinner. It's a romantic meal, a spaghetti and meatballs. We'll play like Lady and the Tramp or something, maybe. I don't know. Oh, there you go, Kim. You worked on this all day Sunday. I actually could have done tonight. You could have, but that's okay. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great week. I will see most of you on Thursday to work on the bomb.com bag. Tomorrow I am finishing up the tutorial for the March bag of the month club bag tutorial. Excited for that one. Yeah, and I will see you guys all on Thursday, and those that I don't see Thursday, I will see you on Tuesday. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye. Good night.